what are the some projects that we can take and be closer to space and space agencies? For instance, Project Possum, Space Camps Project, and so on. Can you let us know these projects as well? She asked.
Yeah, well, I don't know much about them because I'm not involved, for example, in the Possum project and Space Camp. I had a very brief experience in Space Camp because last November, when I went to NASA for my contest, for the contest that I won, I was there and I tried a bit of Space Camp. It was a very brief experience and I like it. I think the Space Camp is something for young students, and it's important that they try to do that because, yeah, it's a way to learn how things work in space, what astronauts do in their training. So it's important that young students that maybe have an interest, that maybe like space, just have the chance to try those space camps. Possum projects, well, actually I've never done the Possum, but I would like to do that. It's a kind of training for young astronauts. It's not an official training because it's not a NASA training. Only astronauts that are selected by NASA can do that, an astronaut training for real. But well, Possum projects it's important because you study so many things about atmosphere, about space, about human flight in space, and you also have the chance to try, for instance, the zero G flight, which is the flight in microgravity, which is the environment that you find in the International Space Station. So I think that it's a way, the Possum project, it's a way to inspire people all over the world. The only problem, I guess, is that it's a kind of expensive, so not all have the chance to do that, and probably that's the biggest problem. But yeah, I think that the Possum project is not the only way to learn. If you don't have the chance to do the project Possum or the Space Camp, there are so many other things that you can do. For example, doing science means also going on Google, on the internet, and find the things that you are looking for. For example, if I have a doubt about the moon, I don't know, it's an example, I can go on the internet and search all the things that I need about the moon, and that's a way of doing science. So well, I think that space camps for Project Possum are important, but they are not the only path that we can, the only way that we can have to learn. But yeah, if you have the chance, it's good. It's a nice opportunity.
Well, thank you. We have another question from our friend Mohammed Emre Varhan. He asks, what are the obstacles of fusion and Giant's future?
Well, actually, I don't really know what are the obstacles. I think that, yeah, probably the obstacles are that we are working on something that is hard. We are working on something that we still don't know it for real, you know, and so probably I think that normally the obstacles are always the one that make us say okay, I want to give up. And so those are the obstacles in any field, in any things that you are doing. So probably it's that. And when you find a way to stay focus and to studying and try and try and try, you will get it. Yeah, it's hard because we are trying on something that we don't know, but we need to make mistake and learn from them. It's the only way to grow and know things different.
Yes. Welcome, Elif. Maybe you want to say something.
Well, actually, for taking internship at NASA, it's a kind of hard because you always need to be a US citizen. You need to have the citizenship of the United States of America. But I found a different way because I took part in that contest, which was the ESA contest, the European Space Agency contest, and I won that contest, and I had the chance to go there. I had the chance to go there because even if the contest was by ESA, it was in cooperation, it was in collaboration with NASA, and so I had the chance to go there. But if you go and search in the internet, you can find some opportunities for students, and even if you are not a US citizen, you can try those opportunities and try to win to get an internship. So this I had the chance thanks to a contest, but I think that surfing on the internet, you can find other opportunities. I'm not very expert in this because I never tried. So I would not say something that maybe it could be wrong. So yeah, I think that search on the internet is the solution, even if sometimes it's hard for students that are not from USA. Yeah, for the question, well, the environment at NASA, the atmosphere, I think that it's a pretty good atmosphere. I really enjoyed it. I really like it because Americans in general are always so friendly. They want to help you. They want to know you. They are interested in the things that you do in your country. So I really like the atmosphere, the environment in general. I think that there are not so many foreign students because, well, actually the universities it's so expensive. So for international students, for foreign students, it could be very expensive, and maybe they don't have the money to pay it, so they need to gain a scholarship, and sometimes it's hard. So I found only American students, but they were so happy to know us. I said us because I was with a friend of mine, which is the guy that took part in the contest with me. We were in a team together, and so every student over there was kind of interested in us, in the things that we do here, and they wanted to help us because we said them that in Italy too we don't have so many opportunities because, well, actually sometimes politicians think that the STEM field, the STEM subjects are not so important, and so they don't invest money in them. But in the United States, it's completely different. They invested so much money in the STEM field, and so they have cool universities. They have cool laboratories where they can learn, where they can try to do stuff with their own hands, and that's important because, for example, here in Italy we have very good universities because we study a lot of theoretical formulas and things in general, but we are not so good in practice. So after our graduation, we have so good in the theory because we know almost everything of the theory, but then we don't know how to practice. We don't know how to start working on the thing that we have studied. In the United States, it's kind of different because they practice a lot. They practice in the laboratories, and so they study the theory on one way, and on the other hand, they try to practice what they are studying. So it's a good thing. And yeah, I think the atmosphere at NASA was pretty good because everyone was so kind to us. Everyone was so happy to answer our questions, to answer to our doubts and so on. So I really like it. I really like persons at NASA and also the students that are studying at NASA as well. First of all, for starters, I think that it's so good that now Turkish is way more involved in space fields. I think that the countries that are starting now in being involved in space things will do great things in the future, you know, because maybe now you are so little in terms of space agency and so on, but you will be great. You will do great in the future. You just need to grow up more, and I'm sure that you will get it. It's important that for getting it, there are people interested in it, because if you don't have people that are interested in grow your space agency, your space companies in Turkey, you cannot grow. But I think there are so many young students that want to go to space and that we work for making Turkey a great country that we go to space someday. So, well, that's good that you now have a space agency. Here in Italy, actually, we have the Italian Space Agency, and we have so many private companies that work for space in cooperation with the European Space Agency. For example, in the city where I live, it's called the Space City, the city of space, because even if it's a small city, we have two great companies that work with the European Space Agency, and they are working on a rover that will go to Mars, probably in 2022. We still don't know, because it will depend on the money and all the things, because if something doesn't work, yeah, of course you have to work again on that and try to make it work. So probably in 2022 we will go to Mars with a rover, which is a rover of the European Space Agency, but a big part of it's built in Italy. Also, I can say that on the International Space Station, for example, there is the famous cupola, which is the window above the Earth, where astronauts go and take pictures. And actually, the cupola was built here in Italy. So yeah, Italy is a small country, but it's doing so many things related to space. I think that it's important. I think that actually we could do more, and I hope that in the future we will do more. But yeah, for now we are trying to do our best with a satellite, with small satellites, the thing that we need to do for collaborating with the European Space Agency. So actually, I think that we are doing good. We can do better, but we are doing good. We say in 2030, 2033. I think, yeah, I think that it will take a bit more, because I don't think that now we are ready to go to Mars. We are not ready, not because of technologies, because we make land on Mars rovers. So in terms of technologies, we know how to go to Mars. But the problem is the human factors, because the human psychology, the human in general, the human being is not programmed for living in space, for living in a closed space, in a closed space of the spaceship. We are not used to that, so we will get crazy staying, living for so many months close in a spaceship. So we have to learn how to go to Mars, and how to not become crazy during the way from the Earth or from the Moon to Mars. So the human factor is still a kind of problem, but I think that we will get it. Well, actually, I think that the private space company are doing the things by their own, and I think that actually it's great. And also, I think that it's great because, for instance, if you want to go to space, but you don't have the how is it said, the citizenship of the United States, maybe you cannot become an astronaut, for instance. But you cannot become an astronaut of NASA because you don't have your citizenship. But you can become an astronaut of SpaceX. So I think that the private companies are so good because they are kind of international, even if they are based in the United States or in Europe or in Russia, I don't know. They are kind of international because everyone can apply and work with them. Anyone can become an astronaut for them. Yeah, you need to pay, but maybe your own your mother country can pay for you, and you can become an astronaut of SpaceX. So I think that they are doing so good. And also I think that they are doing a thing that it's very important, because they are trying to spark the enthusiasm in the people. You know, people now are so enthusiastic about space. They want to go to space, they want to know more. And that also that's thanks to the work that Elon Musk is doing, because he's doing crazy things. For example, he sent a car into space, which is a very crazy thing, but everyone in the world was connected during the launch of the car, because it was Starman. Yeah, because it was so crazy. It was so, yeah, we will never think about a car, a Starman in space, but he did it, and so everyone was so interested in it. And so I think that Elon Musk is doing great things, because they is sparking is spreading the enthusiasm for space explorations in people all over the world. That's important. It's a problem. It's a problem. Starlink is a problem for all astrophysics, for all astronomers, and for all people, for all those people that are in love with the sky, with the stars, and so on, because um, they are, yeah, they cover the sky, you know. So I think that Well, actually, I think the Starlink it's a very cool project because it will give the internet, the data to all over the country that still doesn't have. So it's important because nowadays we live with the internet. It's impossible to think to live without internet. For example, now we are using internet to talk to each other. I'm in Italy, you are in Turkey, so um, internet is very important for our everyday lives. But at the same time, I think that they should find a way to make them darker because they ruin the sky, our skies that are so beautiful. And so I think that the project itself is so good, but the way that he's doing for accomplish that project is not so good. So I think that they will find a way to cover them, to make them darker. I know that they are already working on it, so probably in the next launches those satellites will be darker and will be invisible to the human eyes, so that we can see the stars again. Actually, I think that the first thing that I would say about Elon is that is crazy. But even if he's crazy, is doing so many great things, and I think that he can reach Mars for real. He can bring humans to Mars as well. I think that Mars is very, very it's very important to us because it's so rich in resources that we are kind of finishing here on Earth, because we are living in a period where the Earth is suffering so bad, where the Earth is asking for help because of the global warming. We are destroying our country, so our country, our planet. So I think that we need to find a way to preserve our planet, but also going to Mars would means to like seeing our planet from a different point of view, and maybe from that different point of view we can learn so much more about our planet. So it's a way. Space exploration is important also for that reason, because space exploration give us to see the things in a different on a different point of view, and gives us the chance to know better the things that we are doing here on Earth. Then, thanks to space exploration, we can develop new technologies, and from new technologies we can yeah, we can use those new technologies here on Earth. For example, in the European Space Agency, they are developing the 3D bioprinter, which is the 3D printer of skin, bones, and now also of organs. That would be a kind of revolution, because um, may, printing in 3D organs would means that if you are a person that has a problem and needs a transplantation of an organ, you nowadays, if you need a transplantation of an organ, you are in a list, and you are waiting for someone that can gives you that organs, but you don't know when that organs will arrive. If you can print in 3D that organs, you are sure that you will have your organs, that that your that your body will not reject that organs, because it will be printed departing from your cells. So you are sure that your body will not reject that organ. And so it's a kind of very, very cool things. It will be a kind of revolution for medicines. So I think that space exploration, that Mars and all the things related to space are so important, that because they are a way for living better here on Earth. So that's the reason why I love space. I love space exploration, and I love what Elon Musk is doing. Eli is working more on satellites, as you said, on small satellites, on small projects, and we don't have a company that design rockets because we are working for the European Space Agency. We don't have a private company like, for example, SpaceX, that project that designs his own rockets. We work for the European Space Agency. So the European Space Agency, in collaboration with NASA, design the rocket, design everything, and then the European Space Agency itself asked to Italy to work on a small part of the project. For example, a small satellite, a small part of a rover, a small part of a rocket. So we don't have a company that design rockets, but probably in the future we will have, I don't know. Actually, I think that I'm working in a different field because I'm not studying I'm not studying the aerospace engineering. So in my life, I think that I will never design rockets. I'm studying physics, which is a completely different field, because I want to study, for example, the astrodynamics. So I would love to work in space in terms of, I don't know, for example, the European Space Agency, a company, says to me that they want to send a rover, a rocket on Mars, and I would love to study the trajectory. I would love to study maybe how the rocket can work in a different gravity, in a different pressures, and all those stuff. So I'm not doing aerospace engineering, but I'm doing something that is related to engineering, and probably physics will give me the chance to work in space as well. And but with a different point of view of the engineer. So that, yeah, as I said before, we cannot go to Mars I don't think that we can go to Mars in 2030, because our psychology is not ready. The human beings in general are not ready to go to Mars, because it's hard for us living in a completely different environment, living in a closed in a starship, in a spaceship, for instance. But in general, the aerospace company, the space agency, had the solution. Probably we already have been to Mars, but we are still here. We are still trying to understand how we can get there. So psychology is the most critical part of a mission to Mars, because building a rocket, we know how to build it, and even if it has a problem, is an engineering problem. But the human psychology, the human minds, it's something so mysterious for us, and we still don't know how it really works. So we are still trying to get it, and I'm sure that we will get it. I don't know when, but I'm sure that we will get there. Think that virtual reality can help, definitely. With virtual reality, you can build an environment which is similar to the environment on Earth. But of course, it's still not the solution, because virtual is not real reality. So it's a kind of problem, because maybe sometimes you miss you miss the environment where you were used to live in, but sometimes you miss people, you know. And so if you miss someone, virtual reality doesn't work, because you miss that person and you cannot see that person. Maybe you cannot hug that person, you know. And so it's still not the solution, but for sure it can help us. It can help us a lot. So I think that for a journey to Mars, it will be necessary a virtual reality that works well, and that can recreate an environment similar to the Earth. So yeah, virtual reality is for sure one of the solutions. It can help, and it can make them these children grow more stronger for and ready for going to Mars, for going to space. Even if, well, yeah, I'm not sure that their body can change in some way. I'm not sure about this, but could be a solution, yeah, for sure. We need to try. If we don't try, the science is based on experiments. So we need to try and see if it works. And if it works, we can definitely go farther, and step by step we can reach our goal. Well, I think that I'm still not an astronaut, so I don't have the answer. But I think that doesn't exist, and the answer doesn't exist, because there are so many different ways for becoming an astronaut. And I think that I love that field, that job, because it's good, because you can do what you love more, what you love most for becoming an astronaut. I mean, there doesn't exist a way, an only path for getting the goal. If you like science, you can study in a scientific field. If you like medicine, you can become a doctor. If you like biology, you can study biology. And then, for example, here in Europe, you need to be, from one way, you can be a pilot of the military, and then you can try the selection. Otherwise, you can be graduate in a STEM field. For example, I will be a physicist, and then after that, I can try to take part in the selection. I can try to win the selection, actually, even if it's very hard. And then I will become an astronaut. Before that, I need to graduate, and then after my graduation, I need to work in the field in which I graduate for at least 3 years. After that, I can try the selection. But there's a thing that I want to say, and I want to say that becoming an astronaut is very, very hard, and sometimes you also need to be lucky, because during the selections, there are, at the beginning, there are like 5,000 or 6,000 people that are trying to become astronauts. And at the end of the selection, there are only 20 people that remain. So 20 people are those 20 people are the best. And when you have to choose 6 people among 20 people, it's very hard. So sometimes you need to be lucky. You need to be in the right place at the right time. So you need to be lucky. And the thing that I want to say is that even if your dream is the one of becoming an astronaut, and you cannot reach the dream, it's not a problem, because you have to take in consideration, when you have such a big dream, you have to take in consideration that maybe you cannot reach it. But the most important thing is that you try to reach it. So at least, even if you don't get it, you don't have regrets in the future. So it's important always having a plan B, because even if, for example, even if I don't become an astronaut one day, I will be graduated in physics, and I will be working in space field. So I will be doing things that I love. And even if I don't become an astronaut, it won't be a problem. I will be happy to work in space field at the same in the same way. So that the pronunciation, I don't know, it is a very strange name. Um, well, yeah, I think that we still don't know many things about it, but we are trying to to start. Yeah, I don't know actually if there's a way to study it, but it's a very weird object in space, but I think that we can learn something, because it came from a very far point in the universe. So it can give us so many informations about space, about this space. But yeah, nowadays is not the most important things that we are doing in space. We have things that are way more important, and they are way more interesting also. We are focused on space exploration, on space on space explorations made by humans. So we are trying to study more that field. Different mentors that are graduated in different fields. I think that actually this is very good, because having mentors graduated in different fields means that you can learn so much more about all the different fields. And that's important, because I think that curiosity is the most important factor for doing fields. The curiosity is at the base of the progress. If you are a curious person, you are like um, push to go farther, to push to explore. So curiosity is the most important thing. Then you have different mentors, and that's so good, because you have people that can answer to all your questions that regards different field, of course. Then the way for growing, I think that it's inspiring new generation, because if you inspire young kids, someday they will ask you to be part of the team, and that means that team will never die, because there will always new people entering it and enjoying it, and do their best for inspiring other people, and inspiring. So I think that for starters, inspiring young kids is the most important things, especially in a country that you said me that doesn't offer so many opportunities. So it's important that Turkish people, Turkish students show to the youngest students that also in their country, in Turkey, they can do science, they can do whatever they want. So inspiring people is the first step. And then after that, you will grow, and maybe you will get a position that will allow you to to make people aware of what you're doing, of how science, how important is science. So I think that it's all based on communication. A good communication is the first things for begins for becoming bigger. That's what I think. I was very happy for being here with you today. I am very happy for having had the chance to know you. And of course, I hope to see you in Turin